Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up, what she's good at. Getting another offensive rebound. She says, give me that. How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese won't give up. Jones with another block.
What an embarrassment. What an absolute embarrassment.
What if I told you that Chicago Sky supporters recently got a refund in emotional stability more quickly than Angel Reese's box score went negative after accruing the worst plus-minus in the not only are WNBA fans questioning her statistics, but they are also questioning their own life decisions. This collapse transforms an emotional roller coaster into a tranquil sanctuary. Did the Sky draft a baller or a walking turnover machine?
Up right where she left off, breaking more WNBA records, but unfortunately for Sky fans, it came in the form of a loss, 99-74. The Chicago Sky, you're seeing that right.
Actually, Chicago Sky supporters are in complete and utter meltdown mode. And no, a tornado warning isn't to blame. It's because they've finally accepted that Angel Reese might be the equal of a shoe turnover in basketball. The breakdown of emotions throughout the fan base because of how stressful this week has been. You might believe the squad signed a traffic cone by mistake, but they actually drafted one and gave her a personalized nameplate and locker.
In the Angel Reese congregation. The Angel Reese congregation is losing their minds. The podcasters are losing their minds. I have seen video comments. The fans of Chicago are trying to fire the coach. They're now finally calling out Angel Reese for her lack of fundamental skills. And after we witnessed what we witnessed last night in that one specific clip, holy Lord, it is getting...
First, let's look at the most vicious basketball stat line ever. The whole WNBA's worst plus-minus, that's correct. Angel Reese isn't only having difficulties, she is changing the definition of tanking a stat sheet. As they see her perform, fans are wondering, wait, is she secretly a double agent for the opposing team? Because whatever tactic she employs is effective for the opposition, she isn't even inflating statistics at this time, as if it were spring cleaning. She is scrubbing them off.
The worst game I have ever seen him.
Supporters, oh yeah, are suddenly using sarcasm as a weapon like seasoned soldiers, just when you thought things couldn't get any more crazy. Someone said, I tried to buy an Angel Reese jersey online, but I couldn't get it in the basket. That joke there is outperforming her in terms of numbers. Proportion of field goals, another person said. I'm waiting for her to accuse the supporters of racism for observing that she plays defense like a bewildered traffic cone. When your own supporters are making fun of you like a Thanksgiving turkey, and yet receiving more negative feedback on social media than her entire offensive game, it's a whole other level of irony.
Look, we got to be honest about Angel Reese here. We've got to be honest. She can't score layups. That's a fact.
The unfortunate thing is that this isn't even a sharp decline. This has been a gradual, spiraling descent from a very unstable height. Remember how Angel Reese just vanished down the stretch poof last season? Furthermore, what the Chicago Sky's fate, yes, they resumed their winning ways. She almost seems like a lucky charm in reverse. The scoreboard devolves into misery while she's on the court. Magic flow points are won while she isn't present. Who would have thought?
Angel Reese break. I didn't say it was a good record. I never said that. Shout out to you, Priceless. I missed this. Historically bad shootings with a E emoji. Angel Reese goes 0 for 7 from within 4 feet of the basket to tie most misses from that distance in the WNBA over the past 10.
The perplexing thing is that Angel Reese didn't enter the league in a secret manner. No, she arrived with more fanfare than a teaser for a Marvel film. Big phrases, greater egos, and self-comparisons were rampant. Now, we have a player who plays 32 minutes and has the same influence as a folding chair, given her refusal to pass. One would assume she had an allergy to AIDS. She's out there throwing up blocks like it's a masonry workshop, while her four wide-open teammates on the perimeter wave like they're calling cabs after a blackout. Let's also discuss that bricklaying, squandered opportunities, squandered IQ, and missed growth are more significant than just missed shots. The paint has been transformed into a construction site by Angel Reese. Fans hold their breath when she drives, not because of excitement, but because of concern that someone could be hurt by the backboard's ricochet. Some fans are even pleading with her to return so they can watch the game. But perhaps we're all being too critical. Perhaps she is merely experimenting. This might be performance art. Perhaps Angel Reese is here to question our basic notion of what basketball is rather than to play the game. Perhaps she is a power forward masquerading as a philosopher. Or perhaps she still believes that a losing team's stat padding somehow equates to excellence. Because if your metrics aren't even soft, you can't pad them. They are aggressive and jagged. They act as though you may be struck in the face by numbers.
Let's hear that this is a player that was on the level of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has a bad day, goes 11, 6, and 4, foul trouble. Angel Reese on the same day has the worst day of her.
Then there is the circus of the media. The brigade always arrives. Whenever someone tries to criticize her, she needs time to learn because she is young. That's amusing since the league has rookies who are also learning. However, their stat sheets don't appear to have any mathematical errors. It's about entering the league with more tweets than footwork drills and expecting no one to notice when you're playing like a YMCA regular. It's not about being young, it's about refusing to change. You may even notice that the body language is strange, the sulky eye rolls and frustration. It's similar to witnessing a teenager being banned from their phone. Where is the conflict, and where would one find accountability? After being outperformed by athletes who don't even have a shoe deal, expect at least a hint of humility. However, we receive the same old arrogance without any support. She would be the MVP of a sport that required confidence without expertise. We haven't even discussed the defense yet. What defense, actually? Angel Reese pretends to be a passerby while playing defense. A drive to the basket. Huh, I wish you luck, sis. Whoa, there's a three-person opening. Now is your chance to strike a stance for the cameras. Even dial-up internet makes fun of her since her rotations are so late. She seems to have an allergy to contesting injections, and she jogs back like it's a Sunday walk in the park when someone blows by her.
To see it, honestly. Like, I wish her stats was better. Honestly, I really wish her stats was better, so I'd be like, word, definitely a Caitlin Clark competition, let's go. But you really not doing me or anybody else that wants you to do good any kind of favors with stat lines like this.
Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up, what she's good at. Getting another offensive rebound. She says, give me that. How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese.
Great rebounder. Pass the ball. That's all you got to do. Get assists. You be like the double-double of assists and rebounds. You ain't got to worry about the points. Have your teammates score. I don't understand. I ain't hating. It would be a lovely fucking competition. You know what I mean?
However, at least the fans are painfully and gradually waking up. Like catching lip syncs with your favorite band before she smashes the scoreboard, the same supporters who once shouted for a season are now tweeting that she should be benched. You can tell it's real because even the merchandise sales have stopped. It's a historic reversal, people. Chicago Sky supporters are turning on their purported savior more quickly than she turned the tables. The front desk at Sky must be drenched in sweat. They placed a large wager on a name rather than a game. And now they are sitting courtside, watching in slow motion a PR catastrophe play out. Each moment Angel makes contact, the ball of butter knife could be used to ease the tension in the arena. Will she shoot? Yes, or should she never? Unless there is divine intervention, will it go in? The aftermath is also seen in the dressing room. Don't let the staged interviews and phony grins deceive you. Nothing destroys team spirit more quickly than someone hoarding the ball, missing layups, disregarding open shooters, and then blaming the system. It's not the system. It's not the referees. Chemistry doesn't lie. It's not the coach. There are moments when the answer is painfully obvious.
Between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, let this fact sink in. If Reese didn't miss her layups and become a rebound merchant, she would get a lot less criticism. This rivalry would also be a lot better because the two could compete. And if she doesn't start improving basketball-wise, there's not going to be much of a rivalry left because Caitlin Clark has owned her so far.
And she brings fans to the game the trigger. Of course, a clown at a birthday party does the same thing, but eventually you want to see basketball, not balloon animals. Championships are not won by spectacle. Substance does, and at the moment, Angel is merely providing unadulterated annoyance. The league might have utilized her enthusiasm, charm, and flair, but instead we got a walking TikTok highlight video devoid of any real highlights. An unreliable viral machine, a participant who has perfected the skill of remaining popular for all the wrong reasons. Her games are more than just matchups. They're masterclasses on how to avoid switching to the advantages. The frightening thing is that this could only be the beginning. The spiral will become steeper if there is no course correction, no introspection, and no growth. Fans have already noticed it. Most likely, the coach notices it. The opponents are circling like sharks. 2. Angel Reese does more than simply face off against defenders each time she takes the floor. She is struggling with expectations. She exaggerated expectations. She welcomed comparisons. The WNBA isn't the type of league where you can bluff your way through a season, and now they're backfiring. The box score and the gaze of disgruntled supporters eventually reveal the truth on the scoreboard.
The beef between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, let this fact sink in. If Reese didn't miss her layups and become a rebound merchant, she would get a lot less criticism. This rivalry would also be a lot better because the two could compete. And if she doesn't...
What should we do next? Chicago may have to make some difficult choices. Bench time, trade discussions, and perhaps a self-awareness class are all very much needed, because it only takes a lot of brick wall collapses to realize that this is a facade rather than a construction, with all eyes on her when she entered the WNBA. Angel Reese is now demonstrating what happens when exuberance collides with harsh reality. Her fans aren't waiting to learn that she's already hopping ship, so the question is whether she will step up or continue to drag the sky down. Oh, but it simply keeps improving, or worse based on your level of basketball IQ, whether you're Angel Reese or not. Let's discuss plus-minus, the statistic that distinguishes adults from box score illusionists. In some way, Angel Reese was able to record the worst plus-minus in the WNBA. Furthermore, that isn't even a joke. It's her stat line. To pull that off, you must truly dedicate yourself to being awful on both ends of the floor. Non-existent offense, optional defense, hostage team morale. This is not merely a poor game. It's performance art. The intensely interpretive dance is called Why Have I Come Here at All?
Last night, Angel Reese played 27 minutes. I think there's only 40 minutes in a pretend basketball game, which is 40 minutes too many. But in 27 minutes, Angel Reese had 12 rebounds, with 8 coming on the offensive end. 8 offensive rebounds. Angel Reese went 0 for 8 from the field and scored 2 points. 2 points in 27 minutes.
And at last, fans are catching up. God bless them. The Chicago Devout made an effort to remain hopeful, and they succeeded. They purchased the glitzy photos, t-shirts, and hype. They tuned in with the expectation of seeing the next WNBA phenomenon emerge. Instead, they received a lesson in disappointment. Served cold, accompanied by 0 assists and missed layups. It's confusing, irritating, and ultimately unsuccessful to try to get an Angel Reese jersey online, since it feels a lot like seeing her play. Chicago Sky supporters are already preparing for the inevitable and anticipating the time she twists the alcohol into a theatrical speech against tyranny. Miss free throws, as if they were a social justice concern. You can tell that things have gone haywire when your own fans are psychologically preparing for your upcoming press conference. And who could forget the past season's spectacular finale, in which Angel Reese performed her trademark disappearing act right before the sky began to win magic, except that the magician disappears and the show actually improves. Some refer to it as a coincidence, while others say it's the most obvious indication since Moses opened the Red Sea.
First thing I want to focus on is this right here, okay? Now, she only did this one time, but I do not want to see her doing this in any other game, okay? Now, let's go ahead and take a peek at what happened, all right? She gets the rebound, she goes up, misses it. Good fight, gets the rebound again. Okay, we're going in. That was a good look. Gets the rebound again, goes up again, misses it, get blocked. Now we're trying to go up again, get blocked. Like, this is what I don't want to see. Okay, now, first attempt, okay, right? First attempt, all right, whatever. Boom, you get it right here. Now, honestly, in my opinion, give the ball back to the top.
Let's be truthful. Making wide-open layups into physics experiments would be Angel Reese's most consistent skill. It's like watching someone run through molasses when you watch her run a quick break. Being in a transition play is the only way for her to halt it. An attitude-drap turnover accompanied by inspirational sayings that go bad like milk. A stat sheet that appears to be a joke cannot be covered by designer headbands. She has succeeded in redefining what having a negative plus entails. Minimal Angel isn't inflating statistics. Instead, gravity is pulling them down. Even her rebounds, which come from her own failed shots as if she's practicing for a game, are dubious. Individual performer, it's not basketball. How to waste a possession in for dribbles or less is a one-woman performance art act. We must eventually stop pointing the finger at her colleagues, the referees, the supporters, and the detractors and start addressing the situation as it is, a basketball tragedy caused by self-harm. This stage is not one of growth. Regression using pom-poms is what this is. Angel Reese doesn't require additional time. She needs a reality check wrapped in box scores from the team's last 5 games, a therapist, and a sabbatical. They must act as though this is all a part of the learning curve because they are trapped in a hostage situation. This isn't a curve. No, it's a nosedive. A high-definition kamikaze mission
Reese, part 33. I mean, it doesn't get better than this, man.
Reese, part 33. Let's get it. Only lost by 25 this time. Bang! That stuffer coming hot with the stats. She went 0 of 8, 5 turnovers, and she got 1 hit stick. Bang! She had 12 rebounds. 8 of them were the me-bounds, if you know what I'm saying. All right, let's get it going. How about it? Bang! Again, there's another me-bound. Let's do it again. Bang! Another me-bound. Do it again. Bang! Another me-bound. One more time. Bang! Wait, you're allowed to pay.
Therefore, it's not hate when Chicago Sky supporters start disparaging their poster kid. It's self-respect. They've been patient. They've applauded during the brickfests. They put up with the Instagram story lectures and stat padding. However, they have woken up, and nothing is more frightening to a brand founded on delusion than a fan base that at last realizes the truth. Additionally, if this pattern persists, the Angelry will only be leading in inadvertent comedy. Her stat lines are currently more hilarious than any late-night monologue. Chicago Sky, you had a moment, but you're stuck in a nosedive rather than rising. Regretfully, it appears that Angel Reese is piloting the aircraft while holding a selfie stick and closing her eyes.